coming out today and listening to us, and so we can share some of our thoughts about this. And you know, we certainly have some empathy that we're in your community, and we are very sensitive to that, and we hope that over time we can work together and try to figure out how to work together on this. And I certainly appreciate y'all all coming out tonight, and we look forward to that. I wanted to first of all address to you the question, I think a fundamental question, why here? Why in Ocotillo? You know, because we're not here to kind of pick on Ocotillo, and frankly, you know, there's a huge area out here, and I think people, it's a fair question to ask, why not somewhere else? And, you know, why do it here? And the answer is that the nature was put here, high wind speeds were actually put here by nature. It's something that we did not invent that or create that. And if you look at all of the Imperial County area, there's really very little area in Imperial County that we consider to be actually viable or commercial for wind energy. And this map here that we have was generated by the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, which is an independent, you know, technical group that looks at atmospheric conditions and maps out long-term atmospheric conditions to measure how fast wind moves, in this particular case, at 50 meters above the ground. And on the bottom right-hand side of this map is a ledger that basically shows in color the wind speeds based upon this research. And you can see the highest class of wind being class 7, and then dropping all the way down to class 1, which is in the, you can kind of see yellow, light yellow if you've got good eyes. As you can see, almost all of Imperial County is absolutely no wind. And I don't think it's probably a gigantic surprise to people who live here in Ocotillo. If you drive over Del Centro, it's a very different windy situation than it is here. As a matter of fact, all along the freeways here, there are warning signs about high winds. And you know, it's an interesting, you see it everywhere around here. And the reason is, it is very windy. And so that's what got us to be here. Is number one, is the reason we're here is because of that. And through that process, you know, we're looking at how in the world do we build a project that can actually, it is, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely is. I'm with you, I agree with you, and I share that with you.
Most beautiful desert in all of Imperial County.
And so, when you look at this area on the bottom of this Ocotillo project, you can see the high wind speed. But it's interesting if you overlay, by the way, Beth, can we pull that up real quick? The map that shows the exclusion. I know I'm going to take a little bit away from our project manager who's going to show this to you, but if you overlay, this is in the gray color, all of the areas that are excluded, okay, due to either wilderness preservation, parks, things that are off limits, environmentally sensitive by the biologists, and you take that out, the only area in all of Imperial County that has any commercial viability whatsoever just happens to be right there. Okay? As far as wind energy, is concerned, that is real. Now I'm not, you know, we can disagree about a lot of things, but as it relates to renewable energy and wind, that is a fact. Okay? And we have been out here measuring the wind, as you probably know, for the last year and a half, and have confirmed, okay, what these maps are showing us. That as the wind comes off of the mountains, it comes down on the slope of the desert, and as it hits the flat area, it starts to dissipate out, and it just goes away. I mean, it is just a fact.
Honey, we live here.
I know. And people who live here certainly appreciate it, because I've been out here at times where literally I had to stand like this.
What's that going to do with the windmill?
So,
70 miles an hour.
so the most important thing first is just to realize that from a natural resource perspective, there really is no other choice here in this part of Southern
Oh,
California
yes, there is.
for wind energy.
By the border.
No, let me finish. If you look, there's the map, that goes to the Mexican border, okay? So,
Whose map is that?
so as it relates to why we're here, I want it to be very clear that we're not trying to pick on Ocotillo. It just happens that this is where the wind is, and this is where the commercial viability for renewable energy is for this county.
So we don't count.
No, let me finish, and we'll get to that. And so, when we look at that, just purely from a view of trying to figure out where in the world can we bring clean energy to the power
It's
grid.
not clean though, who told you it's clean?
This is the place that we do it. Now, there are a couple things that I want to make sure we're clear on here tonight, is we do not intend to take water from this aquifer here, okay, on this project. Okay, we are going to truck in the water from an area that does not have any effect on this water source here. So I just want to
What
clarify.
about the footprint you're gonna put in the ground that's gonna make the foundations to
Let me
put
finish,
that pillar
let me
in the
finish.
ground to hold a 400-foot tall windmill?
I'll
That's not gonna impact our water table?
no,
Oh, better.
no. And what we are going to do, we're not going to fence off
And you're a scientist.
this area either, because I want to make sure that you understand, we're not going to fence this off. And we are also going to bury all of the transmission that connects the pole, so there are not going to be transmission lines running all over the desert.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I just want to be clear on that.
Yeah, that's nice of you.
So these are just certain areas that I know would be very sensitive, and I think that there are a lot of sensitive things. But that's just for clarification. We're not going to use your water, and we're not going to affect your water at all.
You can use 10
The
million gallons of
foundations
Wait.
will be about 8 feet deep, okay, which has no effect on the water table, and they'll be spread footings, and then they'll be covered up, and they'll be right up to the tower, and, you know, so, now, so anyway, also, as you know, there is the Sunrise Power Link, which probably has some controversy as well here. There is an existing transmission system that runs already through this area, right through the middle of our project. The 500 kV line existing, and the one that they've already approved is going to parallel that. And the purpose of that line is for clean energy, all right, renewable energy. And you know, we do not use water when we produce energy.
To build
There's
it.
no water.
To build it.
And we are producing non-depleting clean energy for California and for the United States. Now, that is a priority for the United States government to promote renewable energy for a lot of reasons: national security, for clean energy, for reduction of emissions, and there are a lot of good reasons to do that. And as a matter of fact, interestingly, in California here, which has been a leader in many ways in clean energy, just recently they voted to keep clean energy as a priority for the state, and to make it 33% clean energy, and to do that, even to get close to that kind of